Alright, we're going to mount up some tires for the front of the C5. These are 425s. The C5 has got 385s on it. However, the W9 needs new tires on the front of it, and that only has 11R24.5s, and Jared wants to put a wider tire on the front of the W9. So we're going to use the tires off the front of the C5 to put on the W9 and these ones on the C5. Now the reason why we're doing it that way is the steering box is larger on the C5 than it is on the W9. It's got a 16,000 pound front end, and the W9 only has a 14,000 pound front end. And these 425s steer a little harder. So rather than put all the stress on that W9, we'll kind of break it up a little bit, put a slightly narrower tire than the 425, which is the 385, on the front of the W9. And I've got some rims here that I'm going to clean up. I'm going to clean up the edges here before I mount them tires, and we will get things switched over. These are Road Lux tire. I've had pretty good luck with them. I actually bought them on eBay. Road X, so they're 425, 65, R22.5. So we're going to go ahead and get the rims cleaned up. Sergeant's getting 8320 going, and he's got to put sand down through the whole driver. Alright, now we're going to get these mounted. I've got the rims all cleaned up. Just the area here where the bead sits. Sometimes if you get just a little bit of gunk underneath there, it kind of screws up the, they all leak air a little bit. So we'll get these laying down. Throw a little diesel fuel on them. Drop the rim in. Get them mounted up. Alright, Kurt's getting that one off. We got this one just about aired up. I'm going to hit this one with the cheetah, and we'll get them on there. This has got to be close to having enough air here now. Yeah, this has got enough air. Okay, there's the difference in tire there. A little bit on the height and a little bit on the width. So there's what the old tire looks like on there. Now we will get the new one mounted up. Alright, well, he's not in that one. We're going to check the air pressure on this one. This one's only got 60 in it. Alright, so we have to let that finish airing up. They're bringing the 900 down now. And Kerr's getting that one bolted up. I'm going to roll another jack in under this right hand side. Alright, we've got both front tires. They're already mounted on the C5. They are 425s. The 385s came off. The W9 has got 11R24 5s on it. This tire is decent, but this other one, however, is a little bald. So Jared wanted some wider tires on this truck because they kind of just sink in the hay fields and they turn hard and everything else. So he's got trouble getting the jack underneath this one, so we're gonna throw a couple of boards under the tires. He's gonna back up and back up over the top of these blocks of wood, and then that way we can get the jack underneath the axle beam on the front here. So while he's doing that, getting ready to do that, we're going to torque these front tires. Alright, we've got all these torqued. We're going to let Jared have the socket, grab that socket. And we're going to get this truck backed outside. Try to retain a little heat here. We've got both doors open. So we'll go ahead and get this backed out. Alright, so Jared has the left side off. We'll roll in the 385 here. Alright, he's working on getting that last wheel off. We'll roll this 11R24 5 up next to the 385. Show you the difference. There's the difference in width there. Of course, I can't get that 11R24 5 to stand up because of the dish of the rim, so He's getting ready. He's just about done getting them lug nuts off of that other one. That tire there's got some life left in it. We can put that on a trailer axle or something. Steer tire tread is what it is. So. Alright, we've got the tires all on there. They set out a little wider, so it looks like we need new springs or something on this left-hand side, right-hand side. So, you know why that's leaning, why it's tired on that other side? You know why? It's all that horsepower that all the time lifting up on this left-hand side. It's got that spring weak on the right. All that horsepower. So, okay, well, we're gonna get hauled some manure here. Alright, we're just getting going here Wednesday morning. We've got 2 loads of manure here. Jared come in ahead of me. I'm parked down there. They're adjusting chains up on the 9320. We've got the 8320 here. They just slapped the chains on that because this tractor wasn't here earlier. So they're getting that adjusted. I'm going to take a peek at these. Looks like they're a little long. They've got a little too much tail left over, so I'll have to bring something over to hook that tail up, but they got these on there nice and tight anyways. Yeah, if we don't hook these, that'll end up going up, and I guess it's not that bad. They usually bang the hell out of they chip the rims usually, so, but we got another inch of snow or so here. Yeah, it's just gonna make things slippery again. So yeah, see, there's only an inch or so, just enough to make things slippery again. Get a length there or not. Well, we'll check on these guys on this side. Well, Jared's going to try to get going here. We don't know if we got enough sand on the hill here, but we've got to get... Yeah, there he goes. We sanded this roadway on Monday, and then of course we get the snow overnight, and we came over and they plowed what snow they could off of here, but it didn't amount to nothing. So we make a couple trips off the road, and we'll get this back down to being able to get traction on it again. But I'm actually going to load the noon tanker. Nate will have to spread it, and then he'll have to come back to get the rest of my load. So we got the 425s on the front of the C5, and then we took the 385s that were off of this, and we put them on the W9. So we'll get up and get going here. Now we have some foaming issues, and we've had that in the past, but not as bad as we have it right now. The foam builds up in the tank and only allows us to fill the trailer tanker about 3/4 full, and then it only allows us to fill the tanker in the field about half, or I'm sorry, between 5/8 and half, and then it leaves a lot of manure still on the tanker because of the foam. So for those of you that are in the manure hauling business, you kind of know about this trick, and I've heard about it before, and I didn't utilize it till now. We're going to pour a little bit of used motor oil in the tanker. I've got a 2.5 gallon jug there, and we're only pouring about half a pint to a pint in, and for whatever reason it makes all the difference in the world. I don't know why. So it's just a little bit of used motor oil. It's not going to hurt anything. So we're going to go ahead and just pour a little bit in there, and then we'll load this tanker up. That's all I pour in, just that much. I cap that and set my jug there. Now, what we need to do is get a like a 55. I'm agitating the tank here too. What we need to do is get like a 55 gallon drum down here with a hand pump on it. Run a hose up the load boom, drop that down in, walk over, you know, just pump it a couple times, and yeah, that'd do the trick. We wouldn't have to climb up on the tank every time, but until we get that set up, this is the way we're going to do it. So it works. So for anybody that's having a foaming issue, try the used motor oil trick. We're running half a pint to a pint per 8,000 gallons, and so far it's been working. So we'll get this tanker loaded and we'll head back to the field. So we're right up and loaded. I better shut this pump off, but we're going to climb up on there and see how full we actually are, because that was bubbling. So I'm going to flip that switch off. I don't need that agitating anymore. We'll climb up on here. We are full right to the top. So we've got a little bit of foam, but there's only about that much in there. But we're right up to the top of the tank. So now we'll head to the field and deliver it to a field spreader. Okay, we're about halfway through the day now. I just retorqued my wheels, my front wheels, there since we had switched to more this morning. I've made 4 or 5 trips now. The main reason why we kind of switched these tires around, on the W900 I had just regular steer tires as any other road tractor would have, and Jared had always claimed that any time that he got into a predicament, it was because the front end was sinking on the front of that W900. Now, some situations it's not going to help him steer at all with them wider front tires, but at least it'll keep that front end from cutting in. And if anything else, in the muddier conditions, you know, in cornfields and some real soft conditions like that, maybe it'll keep him from getting stuck. Now, they really don't advise you to run too wide of a tire on these road tractors because of the size of the steering box. Now, typically your road tractors have just 12,000 pound front ends in them. The W9's got a 14,000 pound 14,600 pound front end. Now, a lot of that is in the spring and the axle itself rating. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to have a heavier steering box on it, but I'm leaning towards the fact that the 14.6s probably have a slightly larger steering box than, per se, a road tractor with a 12,000 pound front. So the C500 has 16,000 pound front end in it. Now I know for a fact that that steering box is larger than the one on the W9. The C500 had 385 tires on it. You know, the tires were like this wide. I figured we would put them on the road tractor, and I had some rims kicking around from a couple silage trucks that we used to have super singles on. They had 445s on them, which is a real wide tire. I had some rims kicking around, so I ended up buying 425s, which they're about that wide, slightly larger, a little larger than a 385. So I figured we'd utilize those rims, get the wider tire to put on the W9. I had rims left over rather than buying rims for 385s. Now I probably could have put the 385 tire on the rims that had the 445s. That would have worked. They're basically the same width. They're not off by much, maybe an inch. I could have done that, but to be honest with you, I didn't know if they were actually going to work. I wanted to make sure we weren't going to have any rubbing action with the 385s going on the W9, and if I had bought, I needed 425s for another 10-wheeler anyway, so it wouldn't have been a worthless purchase at this point. I mean, we'd use the 385 tires down the road. We run them on lift axles. The only steering axle that they're on is on this truck here. We're running 315 tires on the steerable lift axles on the Internationals. The lift axle that's on the Green Diller's got 385s on it. I'm running 11R 24.5s on the steering axle on this trailer. So that's why we're running the wider tire. He had a bulb tire that he had to have changed out rather than just putting another 11R 24.5 on there. Today was the day to get him switched out. So looks a lot better on there too. But this is gonna more than likely do it for this video. I don't know if I have any more footage that I'll put in with today's video. But at any rate, folks, hit that thumbs up if you like this video. Leave me a comment down below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, by all means, subscribe and hit that little bell. You get hit that little bell notification. You'll get the notification when we put up a new video or whenever we do any live streams. But thanks again, folks. We'll catch you in the next video.